Good morning, comrades, and welcome to my weekly attempt to remain relevant. Today I want to talk about the pyramids. Yeah, the ones in Egypt. You're lucky because I happen to know something about the Egyptian pyramids, but I'm not going to fill you with all of that knowledge. I just want to talk about some of the news that's been announced in the last week or so regarding the pyramids. So we'll get into it right now. First of all, there are lots of pyramids in Egypt. Not just the three famous ones at Giza. They're all over the country. But the ones we're going to talk about are the ones at Giza, on the so-called Giza plateau, which is just outside Cairo. The Great Pyramid, the big one, is there, the one they call the Great Pyramid. And then there's two others that are part of the Giza complex. And then when you see pictures of them, you're also going to see a lot of tiny little pyramids all over the place up there in the same place. But when they talk about the Giza Pyramid complex, they're usually talking about the three that are the Great Pyramid, and then the Khafre Pyramid, and then the Menkaure Pyramid. The Great Pyramid is also called the Khufu Pyramid, for you trivia buffs. So you have Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure. Khufu is the big one. It's 138 meters tall. Khafre is second in line. It's 136 meters tall. And Menkaure, when you look at pictures, it's the obviously smallest one of the bunch. I don't know how tall that one is. You can look that up. The funny thing about the Great Pyramid complex, though, is when you see pictures of it, it looks like the pyramid that's in the middle is the biggest one. In other words, the Great Pyramid. But that's not the Great Pyramid. In fact, it's not even the biggest one. The big one is at the end of the line, as you can see in this picture. The one farthest away is Khufu's pyramid. That's the one that's 138 meters tall. The one in the middle, Khafre, the reason that one looks bigger is because of the way they take the picture and because it's built on land that's a little bit farther or a little bit more elevated. So Khufu is bigger, but in photographs, Khafre looks bigger. Anyway, what we're going to be talking about today is what reports have said they found underneath the Khafre Pyramid and some of the outrageous claims that people are making about it. The reports are that underneath the Khafre Pyramid, there are columns. I think there is a total of 8 columns that extend down underground 600 meters under the pyramid. And on the outside of each column, there's a spiral staircase, or something that looks like a spiral staircase in all the drawings, that also go down 600 meters. At the end, or at the bottom of these columns, I guess, there's 2 more structures underneath them that look, to me, when I look at the pictures on YouTube, they look like boxes or almost small buildings. So the reporting is that all of this stuff has been built underneath the pyramid. Obviously, it would have to have been built before the pyramid was built, because I don't know how they would build it if the pyramid was already on top of all this stuff. But here's the thing. I'm not sure how, first of all, they discovered all this. And they said they did it by radar beams from space. They did it from satellite imagery and vibrations and microwaves and all kinds of scientific stuff. I'm not saying they can't do that. I don't really know. But I am skeptical about it. I want it to be true. I mean, how cool would that be to find like almost an underground city underneath one of the pyramids? But still, it has sort of the sort of a fantastical air to it. It's like the old claims back from the 80s and 90s that aliens built the pyramids. We've sort of outgrown that kind of thing. But now, if we have a city or something that looks like a city underneath one of the pyramids, then maybe the aliens did build it. My phone says it's 9 degrees. For some reason, I thought that 9 degrees would feel a lot warmer than this does. But it's very damp. I think it's going to rain later today. Anyway, I'm down to 1.5 layers. It's the end of March. So hopefully any day now, I'll be down to 1 layer. And I won't have to worry about it and get rid of this buff. I don't know if you can see my buff, but it's here. So what are your thoughts on this? Like I said, I sort of like the idea that it is true, although I find it really hard to believe that it would be. I think what we're in store for is in a few weeks' time it'll be exposed as a fraud or fake news or whatever you want to call it. But we may never really find out. The Egyptians are kind of touchy about fantastical claims about anything to do with their ancient history. So we may not find out ever if this stuff is true or not. This is the kind of thing, though, that gets my attention. So I may be making another video about it in the future. In the meantime, why not leave a comment about what your thoughts about these claims are? I'm really interested to hear what other people, especially in the most intelligent YouTube audience in the world, has to say about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. For you trivia, the Great Pyramid is also called the Khafre, the Great Pyramid is also called the Khufu period.